Now I will discuss the MSc Nursing Entrance Examination Solved Question Paper 2024 Part 4. If a mother brings her 18 months old baby in a hospital who has not been immunized even with a single vaccine, at this time which vaccine can be given to the child except option A DPT first dose, option B OPV first dose, option C measles, option D BCG. So at first we have to know the immunization schedule. At birth we have to give the 0 dose polio vaccine, BCG and the birth dose of hepatitis B. BOPV means bivalent oral polio vaccine. The bivalent oral polio vaccine is given at birth or as early as possible within the first 15 days and the dose is oral 2 drops. The route is oral. BCG is given at birth and as early or as early as possible till 1 year of age. The dose is 0.1 ml, 0.05 ml till 3 months. The route is intradermal and the site is left upper arm. And next is birth dose of hepatitis B. This is given at birth or as early as possible within 24 hours. The dose is 0.5 ml and the route is intramuscular and the site is anterolateral side of left mid-thigh. Next, at 6 weeks, bivalent OPV first dose. The dose is oral 2 drops and route is mouth by oral. Next vaccine is rotavirus first dose. The dose is 5 drop and the route is by mouth. FIPV first dose. The dose is 0.1 ml and the route is intradermal, site is right upper arm. Next vaccine is PCV first dose. The dose is 0.5 ml and the route is intramuscular and the site is anterolateral side of left mid-thigh. And the pentavalent first dose. The dose is 0.5 ml, the route is intramuscular and the site is anterolateral side of left mid-thigh. Next, at the time of 10 weeks, the bivalent OPV second dose. The dose is oral 2 drops, the route is by mouth and the next vaccine is rotavirus second dose. Rotavirus second dose, the dose is 5 drops and the route is by mouth. Next, pentavalent second dose. The dose is 0.5 ml and the route is intramuscular. Next, at the time of 14 weeks, BOPV third dose. The dose is oral 2 drops. The route is by mouth. Rotavirus third dose. The dose is 5 drop and the route is by mouth. FIPV second dose. The dose is 0.1 ml. Route is intradermal and the site is right upper arm. Next vaccine PCV second dose. Dose is 0.5 ml intramuscular anterolateral side of right mid-thigh. And the pentavalent third dose 0.5 ml intramuscular anterolateral side of left mid-thigh. Next, at the time of 9 months, the vaccines are given. FIPV third dose 0.1 ml intradermal left upper arm. MR first dose 0.5 ml subcutaneous right upper arm. PCB 0.5 ml intramuscular anterolateral side of right mid-thigh and the JE first dose, that is 0.5 ml intramuscular anterolateral side of the left mid-thigh. And the vitamin A, that is 1 ml, 1 lakh international unit by oral. Here the FIPV means fractional dose of inactivated polio vaccine. PCV vaccine, it is the pneumococcal conjugate vaccine. It is a pneumococcal vaccine made with the conjugate vaccine method and used to protect infant and young children and adults against disease caused by bacterium Streptococcus pneumoniae. And at the age of 16 to 24 months, the BOPV, that is given orally 2 drops by mouth, and MR second dose, that is 0.5 ml subcutaneous right upper arm, and the JE second dose 0.5 ml intramuscular anterolateral side of left mid-thigh, and the DPT vaccine, that is 0.5 ml intramuscular anterolateral side of left mid-thigh, and this DPT vaccine can be given up to 7 years. And the vitamin A 2 ml or 2 lakh international unit orally or by mouth. So the answer is D, BCG. The answer is D, BCG. And here the DPT B1 means DPT booster dose, that is DPT booster first dose. Next, Mission Indradhanush is for. Mission Indradhanush is for. Option A, non-communicable disease. Option B, family planning. Option C, safe water and sanitation. Option D, universal immunization. Mission Indradhanush is for the 7 diseases, to prevent 7 diseases, that is measles, polio, pertussis, hepatitis B, tetanus, diphtheria, TB. Vaccination cover against 7 diseases to more than 89 lakhs children by 2020. So the answer is Mission Indradhanush is for universal immunization. Universal immunization. Next, dangerous placenta previa is the name given to the option A, type 1 placenta previa, option B, type 2 anterior placenta previa, option C, type 2 posterior placenta previa, option D, type 3 placenta previa. There are 4 types of placenta previa: low-lying placenta, marginal placenta, partial previa and complete previa. The dangerous type of placenta previa is type 2 posterior placenta previa. Because of the curved birth canal, major thickness of placenta overlies the sacral promontory, thereby diminishing the anterior posterior diameter of the inlet and prevents engagement of the presenting part. This hinders effective compression of the separated placenta to stop bleeding. There is type 1, type 2, type 3 and type 4 placenta previa pictures. Placenta located partially and completely in the lower uterine segment, this is called placenta previa. The term previa denotes position of placenta in relation to presenting part. Brownish classification for placenta previa. Type 1 is lateral, that is placenta dipping into the lower segment but not reaching up to the os. Type 2, that is marginal, placenta edge reaches the internal os. Next, type 3, that is incomplete central, placenta covers internal os when closed but not when fully dilated. And type 4, that is central, placenta covers internal os even when fully dilated. Type 1 and type 2 are called minor degree and type 3 and 4 called major degrees of placenta previa. Type 1 and type 2 can be anterior or posterior. Type 2 posterior placenta is also called the dangerous type. The sign and symptoms of placenta previa. The classical presentation is painless antepartum hemorrhage, pallor, uterus is soft and non-tender. Stalled this sign, vaginal examination should not be done in suspected placenta previa. The risk factors are previous history of placenta previa, multiparity and increased maternal age, and history of any previous uterine surgery and previous uterine curettage. Never do pervaginal examination. The investigation of choice is TVS. So the answer is type 2 posterior placenta previa. The highest diameter of fetal skull is option A suboccipitofrontal, option B occipitofrontal, option C mentovertical, and option D submentovertical. At first we have to know the diameters of fetal skull, that is suboccipitobregmatic in 9.5 cm, that is the presentation of flexed vertex. Suboccipitofrontal, the length is 10.5 cm. The presentation is partially deflexed vertex. Occipitofrontal, the length is 11.5 cm. The presentation is deflexed vertex. Next, mentovertical. The length is 13.75 to 14 cm. The presentation is brow. Submentobregmatic, the length is 9.5 cm and the presentation is face. Next, submentovertical, the length is 11.5 cm and the presentation face not fully extended. So the highest diameter of fetal skull is mentovertical, that is 13.75 to 14 cm and the presentation is brow. How does a nurse identify true labor as opposed to false labor? Option A, contraction stops when the client walks around. Option B, contraction progress only in lying down position. Option C, cervical dilation is progressive. And option D, contractions occur immediately after the membrane ruptures. The option is C, cervical dilation is progressive. The difference between true labor and the false labor. The true labor contracts at regular interval and the false labor contraction at irregular interval. The true labor engagement is present and in the false labor engagement is absent. In true labor show is present and the false labor show is absent. In true labor duration of frequency increases over time, but in the false labor duration of frequency does not increases over time. In true labor, dilation of cervix is present and the false labor dilation of cervix is absent. In the true labor, pain not relieved with enema and sedative. In the false labor, pain is relieved by enema and sedative. In true labor, intervals gradually shortens with time and the false labor intervals are longer. The zero incident is elimination of disease. Option A, elimination of disease. Option B, eradication of disease. Option C, elimination of infection. Option D, eradication of infection. Elimination of disease means the reduction to zero of the incidence of a specified disease in a defined geographic area as a result of deliberate efforts. Continued intervention measures are required. Control means reduction of disease incidence, prevalence, morbidity and mortality to acceptable levels. Elimination of disease means reduction to zero incident of disease in a defined geographic area. Elimination of infection means reduction to zero incident of infection caused by a specific agent in a defined geographical area. Eradication means permanent reduction to zero worldwide incident of infection caused by a specific agent. Extinction means the specific agent no longer exists in nature or the laboratory. So the answer is zero incident is elimination of disease. Option A, elimination of disease. In following, which is the common treatment of luteal phase defect? Option A, estrogen therapy. Option B, progesterone therapy. Option C, antibiotic therapy. And the option D, dexamethasone. The answer is option B, progesterone therapy. Folic acid supplementation reduces the risk of neural tube defect. Neural tube defect. Folic acid used to prevent neural tube defects, used to treat folate deficiency, decreases the risk of stroke. What is the reason for the golden color of amniotic fluid? Option A, Rh incompatibility. Option B, fetal distress. Option C, post maturity. Option D, intrauterine death. If the color is colorless, it is normal. Blood streaked amniotic fluid, the significance is traumatic tap, abdominal trauma, intraamniotic hemorrhage. If the color is yellow, there is a chance of hemolytic disease of a newborn, ASDN. If the amniotic fluid's color is dark green, there is meconium in the amniotic fluid. If the color is dark red-brown, fetal death may be occur. So the option is option A is the answer. What is the reason for the golden color of the amniotic fluid? Rh incompatibility. The answer is Rh incompatibility. Next, occurrence of a disease in a haphazard and irregular pattern is known as option A, endemic. Option B, epidemic. Option C, sporadic. Option D, pandemic. Sporadic means on and off, occasionally occurrence of a disease. Endemic means continuous and constant occurrence. The example is the case of malaria, which is always present in the Philippine community. Epidemic means sudden increase in the number of the cases in a short period of time. Example, the rise of dengue. And the pandemic means worldwide epidemic. So the answer is C, sporadic. Occurrence of a disease in a haphazard and irregular pattern is known as sporadic. Next, triple test include the test of. The answer is option A, MSAFP, UE3 and ACG. On a second day of postpartum day, you elicited Homan's sign. The positive finding means option A, puerperal sepsis, option B, mastitis, option C, thrombophlebitis, option D, pelvic cellulitis. The answer is C, thrombophlebitis. The Homan sign, how to know it is positive or negative? In the supine position, the knee of the suspected leg of the patient should be flexed. The examiner should then forcibly and abruptly dorsiflex the patient's ankle. The examiner observes whether or not the patient reports pain in this cuff and popliteal region. The pain indicates a positive sign. Next, midwife should measure the brachial blood pressure for pregnant women at each visit in the same position because lowest blood pressure is found in option A, sitting position, option B, left recumbent position, option C, right recumbent position, option D, supine position. The answer is left recumbent position. Next, curriculum means option A, all the experiences which students get in institution, option B, subjects that are transferred by faculty, option C, syllabus prescribed for the course, option D, class experiences, games, sports, etc. The answer is B, all the experiences which students get in institution.